We're here with Waves at the NAMM show, and Mike's going to talk us through a suite of distortion plugins that go all the way from the, I guess, fairly subtle Abbey Road Saturator to some fairly nasty extreme devices. So please talk us through the collection and how it all works and how they're marketed.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess we'll start with the first one you mentioned, the Abbey Road Saturator. It is a part of the Abbey Road collection. It's a really awesome saturation plugin that takes some of the old school hardware found in Abbey Road Studio that was, funny enough, originally used for noise suppression, but it actually ended up having a certain sound that they liked on it, almost like a harmonic excitement. So that's what the Compander section is. And then on the other side of that, we've got the saturation side. We're taking that signal, running it in through either a TG desk or a red desk for extra saturation. The TG tends to be a little smoother, the red's more aggressive. So between the two, really beautiful sound. It's an awesome saturation plugin. We've got EQ on the before the plugin and post, pre and post there as well. So that one's really great. Outside of that, we have the Berserk Distortion, which that one actually was the first one that came out, and it is definitely a beast. It does a lot of crazy like distortion characteristics, like feedback, dynamics, and EQ. There's a lot of ways to control how you're activating the distortion generation that's going on.
And looking at the waveform, it looks like you're doing kind of digital fold-over stuff. Is that right?
Yeah, there's different, I think, character, I don't want to say character filters, but it's like different types of distortion characteristics. And that big orange go button is actually, it will take the current waveform that you're seeing and kind of randomize it in certain ways, and just to get different kinds of fun saturation, and it's
okay,
really
so
fun.
that's the more extreme end of the scale.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So then in the middle, we've got the creative distortions. There's the MDMX creative distortions. There's 3 of them, and there's the most aggressive one out of these is the Fuzz. It's going to have octave up and octave down options, so you can add like an octave generation either up or below. So that will be added to the signal. You've got a whole dynamic section as well. So there again, you're changing the way the signal is being pumped through the saturation generator.
Yeah.
So, and then the overdrive is not quite as aggressive as the Fuzz, but it sounds great for instruments if you want to do that. Add some excitement to some instruments. And then the last one, the Screamer, just a straight kind of Tubescreamer distortion. Very simple, but yeah, all of these distortions, very fun, very creative, and we're loving them. So.
Okay, so what's the pricing on these?
Yeah, so the Abbey Road Saturator is $69 by itself, or it comes in with the collection if you purchase the collection new. And the MDMX creative distortions are $49, and Berzerk is $49 right now, I believe, as well. So.
And all available now?
All available now, absolutely.
Sounds good, thanks Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the first one here, this is the Berserk Distortion that I'm going to mess with. And so I can drive the signal. I've got different types of characters. And these get really wild here. I'm going to press the go button so it gets into some just wild territory with distortion here. You've got feedback, a lot of control over what's going on with this. Dynamic section. It gets really gnarly. Of course, you can control the mix of it as well. So yeah, moving on. The Fuzz, let's go there. That one's also pretty aggressive, as you can tell. We can go octave up. We can do an octave down of that, mixing those signals. We can cut it if we want to clean it up before it goes in. We can bump it up. HD if you want to smoothen it out if it's a little bit too edgy. Blend knob, of course. Let's see. Yeah, so this is your dynamic section where you're controlling how much is going into the distortion circuit. So let's go to the next one. MDMX Overdrive. So this one's really great for instruments, drums, anything where you want to just kind of add a little bit of excitement to it. You'll be able to control dynamics again, some EQing. So really fun. You can push it as well, but it's not going to be quite as aggressive as the Fuzz. And then of course, let's do a quick little listen of that. Make sure we're listening to it. There we go. So, all right, and last but not least, the Tubescreamer here. So this one's very straightforward, not very much to it, but very fun. Get your Tubescreamer on. All right, let's do this last one. This is the Abbey Road Saturator. So let's add a little bit of this commander here. Go add some distortion. Go over to the red. Very, very fun. Bump up the EQ. All right, fun times.